You can't turn a 304 into a housewife. Cheaters don't like it when you cheat on them. Let me tell you about the time I learned the most important lesson of my adult life. Never trust a 304 to bake you a loaf of commitment bread. You see, it all started when I met Vanessa. Vanessa wasn't just a red flag. She was the whole carnival. I knew from the jump she wasn't exactly wifey material. She had an Instagram full of thirst traps, a phone that buzzed more than a hive of bees, and an affinity for dropping cryptic tweets like, "Loyalty is a choice, but options are mandatory." But I was 32, freshly dumped, and apparently, optimism was my fatal flaw. Vanessa had a way of making you feel like you were the only guy in the room, even if that room happened to be packed with all her other friends. She'd call me her main squeeze, red flag number 37. And then giggle as her work husband texted her a selfie in the middle of our dinner. "Oh, that's just Kyle," she'd say, waving it off like it was perfectly normal to exchange shirtless pictures with your coworkers. Fast forward 6 months, and I'm fully invested. I've ignored every warning sign, convinced myself that Vanessa's flirty personality is just part of her charm. That is, until one fateful Friday night when her phone, a device she guards more fiercely than the crown jewels, accidentally syncs to my Bluetooth speaker. Suddenly, my apartment is filled with the unmistakable sound of some dude named Trevor professing his undying love for her in a voice memo. Oh, Trevor. Sweet, naive Trevor. The poor guy didn't know he was just one square on Vanessa's chessboard of chaos. But instead of flipping out, I played it cool. Why? Because I had a plan. I decided to fight fire with fire. Enter Stephanie. Stephanie was my ex from way back, the one who'd shattered my heart in college, but had conveniently slid into my DMs a week earlier with a "Hey stranger, long time no talk." Normally I'd ignore her, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Stephanie and I started talking again. And by talking, I mean we became a walking advertisement for emotional rebound therapy. Vanessa didn't suspect a thing because, well, Vanessa wasn't used to anyone outplaying her at her own game. Things came to a head during Vanessa's birthday party, a lavish affair she'd planned as if it were her own coronation. She'd booked a private room at some swanky rooftop bar, invited 50 of her closest followers, I refused to call them friends, and made me foot the bill. But what Vanessa didn't know was that Stephanie was my +1. The look on Vanessa's face when Stephanie and I walked in together? Priceless. Her jaw dropped so hard I'm pretty sure it cracked the marble floor. "Oh, hey, babe," I said, wrapping an arm around Stephanie's waist. "You remember Stephanie, right?" Vanessa's fake smile could have won an Oscar. "Of course. How could I forget?" she hissed through clenched teeth. The rest of the night was a train wreck of epic proportions. Vanessa tried to act unbothered, but every time Stephanie laughed at one of my jokes, she'd chug another margarita like it was liquid courage. By the end of the night, Vanessa cornered me in the hallway. "What the hell is this?" she demanded, her mascara smudged and her voice dripping with entitlement. "Oh, this," I said, feigning confusion. "This is what happens when cheaters get a taste of their own medicine." "Cheater," she scoffed, like I hadn't just exposed her DMs with Trevor, Kyle, and half the cast of Love Island in front of the whole party. "Yeah, Vanessa. Cheater. You know, someone who's so busy playing games they forget the rules apply to them too." Her face turned beet red, and for a moment, I thought she might actually apologize. Instead, she sneered, "You're pathetic. You'll never find someone better than me." That's when Stephanie, who'd been eavesdropping, bless her nosy little heart, stepped into view. "Oh, honey," she said, flashing a smile that could melt steel. "He already has." Vanessa stormed off, and I'd like to say that was the end of it, but people like her never go quietly. She spent the next month subtweeting me with cryptic gems like, "Some people don't know a good thing until it's gone." Meanwhile, Stephanie and I had a brief, chaotic fling before we mutually agreed we were better off as friends. So, what's the moral of the story? You can't turn a 304 into a housewife, and cheaters really, really hate it when you beat them at their own game. And me? I've got my dignity, a newfound appreciation for red flags, and a playlist that no longer syncs to anyone else's Bluetooth. Cheers to that.